As an anxious high achiever, you may find that you're kind of constantly tapping into that anxiety that ruminates into the what ifs of life. What if I told you we can tap into precognition, which is going to give us a powerful way to regain a sense of control when it feels like we have no idea what's going on? Hi, I'm Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions, and today we're talking about precognition as a part of our networking week. And in precognition, what we find is that it's this psychic, almost predictive nature where we can tap in to our mind before our mind is actually creating thought moments. And what that does is it allows us to free that rumination that happens when we get really, really anxious. Especially when we have social anxiety, we can find ourselves mapping out every possible avenue and how to be able to say, well, if this happens, then this is what I'll do. And if this happens, then this is what I do. If they say this, then this is how I'm going to come back. I know this very well for anxious high achievers, and that's why I give the transformative or transformation journaling workbook to all of my new clients. Because what it does is it gives us space for high achievers, for anxious minds. And therapy and coaching can be very anxiety producing because we don't know what the professional is going to do. What are they going to tap into? What are they going to ask? Are they going to get into that secret place that I am trying to block off? I'm trying to be successful. I don't want to open these doors, these things that I've hidden and buried so deeply. And so they sit there and ruminate on what is happening. So I give them a book to say, this is your space. Do anything you want in here. It gives you guidance on how to journal. It gives you guidance on kind of things that we may talk about that are very common in therapy and coaching sessions. And so it helps them to have that predictive quality. Predictability is the mind's best friend. And tapping into precognition is how you find that faith within, that ability to be present and in the here and now. And so precognition is an intuitive ability to perceive or sense future events before they happen. It's not really being psychic, but it shows up as a deeper inner knowing, gut feeling, or mental imagery tied to future outcomes. And for anxious high achievers, tapping into this precognition can be a powerful way to regain a sense of control, align with intuition, and calm performance anxiety by connecting to that inner wisdom. And this is what we do on a faith journey as well. We connect to a higher power, and we believe that that presence is there in order to be able to let go of the anxiety that is presented with the what ifs of these unknown situations. And it's important to understand what social anxiety is and genuine intuitive signals. Social anxiety is the loop, the rumination, the connection to outcomes. I want to put my hand in. I want to overly control the situation. I don't know what's going to happen, so I am going to elicit all of my internal locus of control to try to maneuver the situation before it happens. It's coming up with a lot of different scenarios and trying to see how they all fit together. Precognition is this oneness, this sense of presence, this ability to open up a space for something or someone or an experience, a place. and be fully present with it. And as we are fully present with it, what we find is a calming, a sense of peace, a sense of joy, a sense of knowing. And as we're in this calm, knowing space, having full ability or capacity, we know that we are capable of whatever presents to us in that space, that we're ready for it, that we are going to be present for it. We are not going to avoid, we're not going to get into the negative dynamic. And as we stay present for this space, what we find is that there's this little underpinning of knowing, this underpinning of guidance, this underpinning of presence and ability. And we talk a lot about this through manifesting positive energy and perceived realities. Like, all of this is connected, because whatever you put in that space is what you are going to start acting accordingly with. And when you have the faith that that space is going to fulfill you, that space is full of peace and knowing and ability, then you enter that space very confidently. And as you enter that space confidently, you're using action-oriented experiences or actions. Not to say the same thing over again. Action-oriented experiences, responses. And you're responding, not reacting. You are responding. But when we get into the what ifs of social anxiety, right, we are reacting, and we are just trying to prepare our reactions. And later on this week, I'm going to explore kind of the feedback loops again. They keep coming up. Those triangles keep coming up. But we're going to see that there are multiple cognitions that we're having that anxiously pull us into these feedback loops. And they're all related to that negative dynamic and the shame and guilt within us. And as we find our presence, our intention, our empowerment, and our balance, what we find is that we're able to be more present with the situation and more purpose-driven with that situation. And that is a part of what precognition is. That sense of presence, that grounded approach, gives us these knowledge points so that we can respond accordingly and not react. I talked a little bit a couple weeks ago about mastering the job search, and this really connects with that. And in mastering the job search, I say, set your intentions. That elevator speech will take you through everything. It'll take you through the jobs that you're looking for. It'll take you through writing that professional summary and targeting that resume, your interview, your negotiation strategy. It'll take you through the entire process. And we create a room with my coaching clients, and I am happy and proud to say that within 3 weeks, after a year of job searching, within 3 weeks, I had 2 clients actually within our time together and our coaching be able to obtain not only one but multiple offers in their job search. So a huge growth, and it all is because we went into this precognition room. We opened up a space that is theirs, that they can own, that made them feel confident and safe. And so instead of having all these reactionary approaches where they were like, I was just I was just talking and answering, and I even kind of was like, what are you doing? What are we talking about? What are, like, this is so stupid, and just getting more and more anxious and feeling more and more depleted or defeated or really removed from that situation. And so as we built this room, they were able to gain more presence. And as they gained more presence, they were able to achieve more in real life events. And so how we are going to kind of develop our precognitive abilities and identify how this aligns with our networking opportunities is we want to have our own space, our own intentional room that we shield and protect for only us and what our purpose is. And whatever that may be, it may be that you're business building because you're an entrepreneur. It may be that you're going for an interview. Maybe you're just seeking a promotion. So you have the job, but you're ready to level up and you want to be able to be very mindful and effective in that. I have a lot of clients who are independent contributors right now, really wanting to and yearning for that leadership role and wanting to get to that next level, and are often told by other coworkers, other leaders, like you're just not ready yet. Maybe you're too social. Maybe you are not showing the maturity yet. Maybe you haven't really taken on the tasks that you need to take on. And it's really, it digs. When you're an anxious high performer, it digs at you because any fault feels like a ultimate fault. It feels like a fatal fault. And it's hard to get out of that all or nothing thinking and thinking, I'm just not ready. And it's like, it's not that somebody is providing you with trying to get you back to the bottom. What they're trying to do is to guide you and to say, these are the places you need to be more intentional with. These are the things that you need to be more mindful with. You don't just acquire a new position, although sometimes it feels like it does. But if you really want to be a leader, and a leader is a character trait, not a position, then what you need to embody are all the things and mindfully embody the things that make a good, effective leader. And so how we do this is we create that room and we put in that room everything that's going to give us all the skills. And in our coaching, that's what we do, is we build skills, we build toolkits, and we put them in the room so that we know exactly what to pick up and what to use in real life. And so how we apply these intuitive intelligence and maybe a team dynamic or a networking opportunity is take moments to pre-game. Pre-gaming is the idea that we are taking time to kind of take some deep breaths, mindfully get into the mindset that we want, that intention that we are seeking. And as we get into that intention that we are seeking, we start to find a shift in our energy. And as we ground and we find a shift in our energy, we start to feel more present and connected and purpose-driven. And that will immediately come across in how we present ourselves and how people interact with us. Remember that energy is there. And so you can present an anxious energy, which is really high and pitchy, or you can kind of ground yourself. Find a sense of grounding and presence. Hear what is coming to you and respond back how you want to be in that space, in that moment, in that presence. And we go back to those 3 C's of effective networking. And that is to be clear, controlled, and consistent. So being in a place where you can know exactly what you want, hear how people are collaborating, being collaborative, and collaborating in that moment. How do you two find a shared liking? And then how do you pivot to both having wins? And that's an important experience to be in. And you do that when you're in a precognitive state, or you use precognition in order to get in a mindful state so that you can build on that collective intelligence and those collective insights that we talked about. And we go back to those Jungian archetypes for a couple weeks ago, I should say, and tap into the Jungian archetype. What is being asked of this situation? How do I respond effectively and groundingly? Removing the shadows and sticking to those highlighted moments. And as we do this, we build more and more confidence in our presence and our natural intuitive ability. We trust the space that we are creating. We trust that if we let go of the anxiety and live in the here and now, we will find a sense of presence and success. My books, Key Steps to Living a Happier and Healthier Life, go through all of these things. So go on Amazon. The links are in the video description, so click on them and you can see it. Building a Framework for a Happier and Healthier, More Successful Life is part 1. Part 2 is emotional regulation, and we have been diving into and exploring part 3, interpersonal effectiveness. And each one explores a different avenue of mastering the inner game. And mastering that inner game will get you to your most success-driven, happier, healthier, purpose-driven self. I'm Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Today's insights helped you to reflect more on insights on how to live more intentionally in your relationships or in your professional or personal growth. Please give this video a like and thumbs up and share it with others who could also use the insight and support. Each week, I dive into these real strategies that are coming out of my book, Key Steps to Live a Happier and Healthier Life, Part 3, Interpersonal Effectiveness. So please be sure to subscribe and to join us each week to learn more about how to create deeper, more meaningful connections, set healthier boundaries, and live a purpose-driven life. All of the principles I teach in my workbook. Your growth matters, so thank you for being here. Let's keep building a happier and healthier life